and the surrounds alone. So starting with the design of this unit, the overall look. This is a very sleek piece of technology here. A very imposing but elegant at the same time. The angles used in the design of this soundbar is very good. I like the meshing that they use on top of the soundbar, very elegant. I like the AMT tweeters and the way they are positioned in the unit, along with all of the other speakers in between that you cannot see. I think that is a good touch. This unit really stands out, especially the top of the unit as well. Really stands out and says, look at me, I'm here to prove the naysayers wrong. I'm here to burn up all of the AV systems that are out there. At least that's what they say. But this does look very good sitting underneath a television. I must admit, I like the design. Now, carrying that design over to the subwoofers, which initially they come with the 8-inch subwoofers. Now, subwoofers don't have that elegant look to them, so they don't get that stamp of approval as far as the subwoofers. There's going to be some big caveats concerning the 8-inch subwoofers. Now, there also are 12-inch subwoofers that they released in. The 12-inch subs, they look great. They look Dragon-like from a look perspective. I don't know how they perform. I do not have the 12s in my setup. But yes, the 8s, not so much a good design, worthy of the Nakamichi, worthy of the Dragon label. But the 12s, from a look perspective, are worthy of the Dragon label. Surround sound speakers, the rears and the sides, and the Atmos rears. Excellent. I love the design of those speakers. They look very good. They look imposing, like, hey, they are about to blow fire. And I also like the design that you're able to turn and direct the Atmos to wherever you are positioned in the room, or wherever you, if you want to put them off the sides to you for a better sound, you want to direct them to you for a better sound. You have a lot of options with Atmos with that, and that is a big plus. So, rounding up the design department, the sound bar itself, the sound system, they like to say, is excellent in design. I love it. 8-inch subwoofers, meh on design. The 12-inch subwoofers, excellent in design. The surround sounds, excellent in design. So overall, I give the design of the Nakamichi Dragon the Resident Horror stamp of approval. Let's talk about the menu. Is it hard to navigate? Absolutely not. The menu is very easy to navigate once you get used to it. And for those coming over from receivers, it's a walk in the park. So I don't understand why some people are saying that the system is complicated to navigate. Not at all. Everything is spelled out for you. It's very simple. I like the menu. It's snappy. It does what it's supposed to do. You have the options in there to change your feet and inches of the distance between you and the speakers, adjust the volume, the LFE, the crossover, all of that good stuff you can do in here. You have various sound fields that you can experiment with. Movie 1, 2, and 3 and so forth for movies or music or ambiance and, you know, all of that good stuff. So I don't have a problem with the menu. Now, with that said, I'm going to dock a lot of points away because this doesn't have an automatic setup. For a system this good, it should have at least an automatic setup. Maybe charge people extra for a little mic. I don't know. No. Shouldn't charge anybody for an extra mic because this is expensive as it is. This should have come with a little auto calibration where you set it up in the middle of your area and it automatically, you know, dials in the distances and for the heights, the sides, the rear, the fronts, all of the 11 point whatever they're talking about. There should be an automatic calibration. I think that would do the system good. Take out all of the guesswork, all of the minute, how many feet and inches you are with a tape measure. That's archaic. Do I enjoy doing it? I enjoy doing it, but I would much rather just set up the mic and let the system do its thing, and then from there, I can adjust accordingly. I think that's fair, and so that's my only gripe with the internal functions. So, does the menu and functionality inside of the unit get a stamp of approval from Resident Horror? Absolutely, it gets the Resident Horror stamp of approval. There's a lot of stamp of approvals going on right now. Let's move on to what counts. Oh, the good old sound. So, I've heard the Nakamichi with the 2/8. That's what I have. I don't have that set up anymore, but I'm going to talk about the 2/8 and the sound. How's the sound? This bad girl right here puts out tremendous sound. Tremendous. The highs, the fidelity, the snappiness of this system is beyond anything you've ever heard on a soundbar when dealing with high fidelity coming from a soundbar. It's a soundbar, let's just be real. I don't care if it's all together, it's a sound system, no, this is a soundbar. But it is a fantastic, hi-fi, high-fidelity soundbar. Especially with the AMT tweeters, the back speakers with the AMT tweeters and all of the functionalities going on. The way that you hear heights is fantastic once you have everything locked in. The sound follows the screen and it has a little bit of height over the screen. I wouldn't say that everything is way up in the ceiling. Sometimes you do hear that, so I can say, well, maybe that's because of the mixes of different movies that are not that great. So when you listen to something that is fantastic and good and is mixed, and it really brings out the heights and puts them higher. But for the average, you're going to hear the heights following the screen, all the action following the screen, and it's going to sit a little bit above the screen for the heights. In stuff that is mixed really well, you're going to hear it way up, if that makes any sense. I hope that clarifies that aspect. So you definitely hear things whizzing by you like crazy after you position everything properly and set up your system. It really gives you this bubble of sound that I think is fantastic. Fantastic. Now, moving to the bass, the 8s. This is where the system starts to kind of crumble down a little bit when it comes down to the low frequency department with the 8s. I don't have the 12s. This is only for the 8s that I have. Coming from an AV system using a SVS sub, PB3000, and coming to this system, experiencing the low frequencies, they are not there. Does this bass punch? Yes, the bass punch, but it doesn't growl. It punches you, but it doesn't growl. And I think a lot of us want the punch and the growl. And the 8s do not provide that, unfortunately. You know, like I said, from the design department and the look department, the reason I'm looking so defeated, I'm looking at the 8s like, man. But there's a caveat to this. I'll tell you later. But do the 8s perform well enough for someone who hasn't heard anything better or had a more expensive sub? Absolutely. You will be blown away if you have not heard anything, better than this. It performs. So I don't want to down it to the point where it seems like they're junk. They are not junk, but they don't perform and get to those low frequencies that some movie lovers really want. Example, in Gravity. I don't remember where it is in there, but if you play Gravity, and there's a scene where Sandra Bullock is blown back in the spaceship and hits her head on the spaceship and kind of gets dazed out. Now, when playing that with the SVS sub, you're going to hear a boom, boom, clean, boom, as it engulfs you with this low frequency. The low frequency is non-existent in the 8. Complete sounds in movies are gone. And this is with multiple movies that I played. It does not play at all. So, and it tends to bottom out when the going gets tough. You hear a lot of... So you're going to have to adjust these subs so they don't bottom out. And that's a shame because this is a high... This is just a great soundbar, man. right here. This part right here in the sound and surround speakers, absolutely great. But I can't say so much for the 8s. The 8s are average compared to this. That's fair? I cannot speak on the 12s because I don't have them. If you want to send them to me, Nakamichi, please send them to me. Let me check them out in my system. So what I'm going to do now is give you my verdict with the soundbar in the 8s, 2 8s. Then I'm going to give you my caveat review with something that I've done to the system that brought it to my liking. All right? Mids are good, highs are good. Lows on the 8s are trash bins after a certain point. This system overall, combining the soundbar, the surround sound speakers, and the 8s, I still have to give this system the Resident Horror stamp of approval. This is a monster. And this is the best soundbar on the market. I don't care what nobody's talking about. The Samsung flagship is not beating this. The Sony is not beating this. The Sonos is not beating this. This is the king of all soundbars. This system should have shipped with those 12s. You can mod your subwoofer, voiding your subwoofer warranty. That has nothing to do with the soundbar, but it will void the subwoofer. Okay, so all I'm going to say is my SVS PB3000 has brought the overall experience to another level. And that's just one in operation with 1 8. Front and back. Recommend going the Nakamichi way, buying the 12s if they perform. But I hear that, they're not still giving you that roar that you want, but they are a massive improvement above the 8s. That's what I hear. So I would go that route so you don't void your subs. If you don't care about the warranty on your subs, go ahead and do what you have to do to enjoy whatever sub that you want to get that roar, that real brick shaking roar. So all I'm going to say is you have options when it comes to the low end. And once again, Nakamichi, you can send me the 12s. I would love to hear how they perform. But yes, this is flagship. This is a flagship soundbar. No other soundbar is competing with this. The closest one to this is the flagship Samsung that I have upstairs. But that's not even close. But it does sound good. But it's not close to this. Keep looking down because I'm looking at this 8-inch right here like, you should have been better, man, for this price. You should have been better. But don't let that stop you from getting this soundbar. This and the surrounds alone are worth the price of admission. Do what you wish with the subs, the 8s. If I was to get this again, it would have to be with the 12s. Have to be with the 12s. For sure. For sure. Unless you plan on getting this with the 8s, and doing what you have to do to use your own subs to bring that full experience into fruition. So I hope this helped. Stamp of approval, definitely for this soundbar. I love it. Now that I have it all dialed in, tell me what you thought about this in the comments. Tell me your experience with the Nakamichi Dragon. Mine, I love it. So peace. You know what to do. Hit the subscribe button and that like button. Leave a comment and stay spooky.